NBA basketball. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan. With me, Richard Jefferson and Greg Anthony. And as always, the Hall of Famer David Aldridge joining us from the sidelines. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. D'Angelo Russell out there with Thomas. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Nicholas Claxton. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 4. And for the Warriors, up front, it's Green at the 4 with Jackson Davis at the 5. Curry is out there with Dixon. And it's Wiggins in at the 3. And Richard, the season's still in its early stages, but the travel miles already starting to add up for some teams.
But it's so easy now compared to a few decades ago. All flights are chartered, team meals, sleep scientists. Road games aren't easy, but they are easier.
So Golden State will get the first possession. Now Curry. Pass to Dixon. No good on the triple. Now here's Bogdanovich. And then Thomas with the jam.
Thomas is electric. He always makes things happen when he's on the floor.
Russell against Curry. Jackson Davis with it. Curry looking it over. Buries it from three-point range.
Curry is just lethal from outside.
And it's Russell with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Nets. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
Yeah, their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
And you talk to coaches around the league, and they'll tell you sometimes the ball just goes in. It's as simple as that.
And so it's Golden State with it after D'Angelo Russell's three-pointer that didn't go. And Thomas has it in the corner. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Thomas got 5 now.
Decisive reaction on the catch and shoot. Thomas always plays like he's got something to prove.
Curry passes to Dixon. And another 3 for Golden State.
And an eye for an eye. Both teams working to stretch the floor.
This is today's NBA. Hey, we see this kind of exchange more often than not.
Now, here is Russell. In Sacramento, he was nearly unstoppable. On the wing, Johnson, covered by Wiggins. 6 to shoot, 9 feet out. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
And hitting the mid-range jumper here early gives the defense just another thing to think about.
And you don't see many teams take these shots as often anymore. It's nice to see them take advantage in this area.
Dixon. From outside, off the mark.
He just looks off this quarter. Looks like he's forcing it a bit right now, a little bit in his head.
And you look at the career of D'Angelo Russell. I mean, he's played for several teams, including the Lakers twice.
Teams keep trading for D'Lo for his offense. He can be electric. There is a reason why he's been named an all-star in his career.
Thomas, no good.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Throws, tapping the alley-oop slam. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
It reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
Here's Thomas. The Warriors making the shot. And Smooth is going to pick up the foul.
Dixon.
That is his first foul of the game.
First team foul.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Russell finds Johnson. Back to Russell. 6 on the shot clock. Puts up a deep 3. It's hauled in by Jackson Davis. The Warriors have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. And Green gets it to go.
One thing about Draymond, he almost invites contact.
With the assist.
Nets trail by 3. And Smooth is going to pick up the foul. That's foul number 2. Warriors leading by 6. In at small and power forward, it'll be Wiggins and Green. Stephen Curry's out there with Dixon. And it's Jackson Davis in at the center position. That's the group for the Golden State Warriors to start the second quarter. Now Thomas after the missed 3 from Dixon. Thomas, no luck.
I thought he had that all sewn up, but somehow the defense just threw him off.
Here's Dixon. He's guarded by Russell. Dixon passes to Curry. Shot clock at 6. Golden State needs to get off a shot. Launches it from deep. Warriors getting another chance here. Here's Jackson Davis. And finally they hit one. Jackson Davis has got his second basket of the night.
And they continue to control the glass.
Russell passes to Johnson. Now Claxton. Nets passing it around. The pass to Bogdanovich. Warriors with the rebound.
Look, the defense was locked in on him there. They know how dangerous he can be, and they guarded him perfectly.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
That's a great possession. Put your best players in a position to succeed.
Outside, Russell. Johnson, the pass to Claxton. Out to Russell. Back to Claxton. Johnson in the corner. Here's Russell. And the slam dunk by Russell.
Good read by Russell. He is crafty in that two-man game.
Inside, here's Dixon. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Dixon's got the lead up to 10 now for the Warriors.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Russell passes to Johnson. Pass to Thomas. Back to Johnson. Takes the 3. Good on the triple.
Cameron Johnson.
Johnson's got 5 points so far.
When you have a shooter like Cam Johnson, you're running that play with confidence.
Fires it up. Dixon's shot is off.
And even though he hasn't been himself, it hasn't affected his team too much. They've still got the lead.
Outside, Bogdanovich. And Bogdanovich throws it down.
Yeah, the length and height of Bogdanovich is impressive. Outstanding at slamming it down there when he got the chance.
Richard, we know that not many teams have had steady core players like the Warriors have had over the past decade.
Where there's so much player movement these days, and it's hard to keep any roster intact, let alone a superstar team like Golden State. And they're winning, but it hasn't been because of him. He can't throw it in the ocean so far.
And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Warriors.
Showing their energy so far, sprinting up and down the floor, getting out in transition, and taking advantage.
And yeah, how about this team also following up their shots, getting those offensive boards, also a key for their success.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. You know, a trend that's been unmistakable, Greg, over the last few decades has been the number of positionless players.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing, right? So many players now with diversity in their skill set, and there's no need to commit a player to a certain role just based on their size.
And if you listen to Cam Johnson talk about shooting, my goodness, RJ, he is a student of the game.
Studies a lot of different shooters, constantly analyzing his own footwork. And you know what? The result speaks for themselves. One of the most unselfish superstars out there, Curry is always looking to make his teammates better.
Curry against Russell. Passes it to Johnson. And Stephen Curry with the foul. That's his first foul.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Outside for Thomas. Here's Claxton. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. They get Stephen Curry.
Clearly a foul.
He'll take his third and fourth free throw shots of the game right here.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low number.
Following some ups and downs, Richard, the Brooklyn Nets, and you know this, they're back in rebuild mode.
Yes, unfortunately they are, but fans shouldn't let the word rebuild discourage them. The Nets still have a ton of solid pieces, and it's just a question of making smart moves from here on out.
Here is Russell after the made shot from Dixon. Pass to Johnson. And stolen by Wiggins. Now the Warriors moving it up. Curry against Russell. Here's Jackson Davis. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Jackson Davis has got 8.
Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
Claxton finds Johnson. Back to Claxton. Thomas surveying the D. Another shot. That one's in there. The Warrior lead is cut down to 5 on the bucket from Claxton.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass, and that's one of the things he brings to the table. Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Outside, Russell. On the wing, Johnson, covered by Wiggins. Johnson inside. He's against Wiggins. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Russell. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. 8 points for him.
When you talk about crafty players, you're talking about players like D'Angelo Russell who can find his spot.
Here's Dixon. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got his 5th assist in this one.
See, he had time to line it up, and you know what? He's capable.
And there's the pass to Thomas. Over Dixon. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
You know, some people could say he's struggling on offense this period. I like to think of more of drowning. Just can't seem to find his confidence.
And Bogdanovich kicks to Russell. Back to Bogdanovich. Green with the block.
When you talk about the best defensive players of this era, you have to talk about Draymond Green.
Williams, he's checked in for Brooklyn. Here's Johnson. He's got 8 over Green. Here's Williams. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Let's take a look at some numbers for Smooth. Tops in scoring. And he's first in the league in steals per game. Just an incredibly aggressive and tenacious defender.
And his scoring abilities are just so far out of sight. #1 overall right now. No one's been able to slow him down or even come close. Kuminga's come in for Andrew Wiggins. Here's Dixon. We saw him with 29 points last game. It's Curry outside. Curry! What else is new?
There's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
Russell with it. And he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. Johnson down low, headed by Green. Great tee that time from Green.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's Dixon. He's guarded by Russell, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. The Warriors have gone 2 of 4 at the free throw line. Podziemski, he's checked in for Stephen Curry. And then for Brooklyn, Sharp checked in for Nicholas Claxton. Trendon Watford comes in for Johnson. And it's DeAnthony Melton in for Cameron Thomas. And now we've got some time to check in from the sidelines. You got for us, DA?
Hey, Kevin, the Brooklyn Nets wasted no time hiring their next coach, Jordi Fernandez, shortly after the conclusion of last season. Despite his youth, Fernandez has been on the rise after stops as an assistant with the Kings, Nuggets, and Cavs, as well as coaching the Canadian national team. Kevin?
No, D.A., we've been talking about Jordi Fernandez for a long time. Now his big break, and I'm very happy. I know we all are for Coach Fernandez. Hey, David, thank you. Here's Russell following the basket by Draymond Green. Clock at 6. And they get it. That one, no good. Nice defense from Kuminga. Here's Dixon. And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a three-point play chance here for him.
And he has flat out taken over this quarter. Keep feeding the beast.
The Warriors have shot 67% from the line tonight, going for 6.
Yeah, and over the course of the season, they're a respectable 78%. That comes in handy in close games.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Kevon Looney is checked in for Trace Jackson-Davis. And it's Moses Moody in for Draymond Green. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Now, here's Melton. He's defended by Pajemski.
Boy, you can just see the frustration growing on their faces. Nothing going their way.
In a major drought, need to find some sort of momentum.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Ball stolen. And out of bounds as the Nets gain possession. Dennis Schroeder's checked in for the Warriors.
Dennis.
So it's the Golden State Warriors with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. Defensively, they have gotten after it, contesting every shot going up. And don't go away. We'll be right back.